Greetings. Today is Tuesday, so it must be a tarot video. I'm trying to stick to my plan, and it's helping me. It's helping me because I don't have a lot of time to make a lot of videos right now, but it helps me if I'm trying to mix it up a little bit and coming out on the different days for the different kinds of videos. I hope that makes you happy. um, anyway, I just wanted to come on quickly and talk to you a little bit about how you can use a few little tarot tricks to help you achieve balance at Mabon. Um, the equinox, we just had the equinox, well, it's just a week ago or so. And if you're not sure what that is, it is the time when the daylight and the darkness is equal. A point in time during the calendar year when the amount of hours of daylight, amount of hours of darkness are pretty much the same. And then from that point on, now every day from then through today and tomorrow, up into Yule, the days will have more darkness than light, more darkness every day, longer dark period every day. And that's what we refer to as the dark time of the year. And then, of course, the light will return. Start to return. It will come back on, go back on its way back up at Yule. We're going to start to get, that's the darkest day of the year, and we will start to increase light again. It's just something that happens all the time. It's a natural occurrence based on the position of the Earth with the Sun, and it's just it's very natural. But it affects people in different ways, and sometimes people use this time of the year to try to get themselves back on their feet, try to get some balance in their life. Now, this is not my first rodeo with using tarot to try to achieve balance in my life. You know, I'm very fond of trying to be balanced. And I want to say that, first of all, I want to reference, I do have a video that I shot, I think, 2 years ago, and I have on this channel, which was something just basically called Getting into Balance at Mabon or something like that, where I shared an 8-card spread that I did. I believe I did it with the Shadowland Tarot deck, and I will reference, I'll give the link to that video. If you're interested, it's a really good, I think it's a really good way to get yourself, to help you identify the areas of your life that you might be a little bit out of balance in, and what you might be able to do about it. So it's a pretty good exercise to do. But I was thinking, I think we can use some simpler ways. Some people don't want to do a big spread, and there's a lot of simpler ways that we can do it, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Just give you a little bit of a shortcut. And today I'm going to be using the Deviant Moon Tarot, which I really like to use this time of the year. And this is I did first something like this. The first thing I want to share with you is something like I did when I had my black dinner in 2019. At this time of the year, we held a black dinner to celebrate the darkness coming in, to welcome the darkness. And we just had a fun little exercise with tarot cards on the table that people had that, and a lot of the people that were here did not read tarot, so it was just some little fun kind of a game we did at the table with the tarot cards. And I was thinking about that the other day, and I was thinking, there's a really fun way to do that, seriously do that, and try to identify some of the areas in your life that you might be out of balance. Now, first of all, I want to distinguish something to you. What I did before, in the video I'm sharing from 2 years ago, I used an entire deck of cards because I was looking how to get in balance, in balance, right? So it included all the cards, the major arcana and the minor arcana, and all the core cards, everything, the full entire tarot deck. Now, balance, let me see if I can explain this. The thing I want to share today is I'm not going to be using the entire tarot deck, and I will tell you why. Most of you know, I think if you've seen any of my videos before today, you might have known that my husband and I just recently went through a really bad health scare. He had a really bad health scare this year, and coincidentally, I don't know, coincidence or not, this year was my tarot year of the Tower. And that is based on information based on my birth chart, okay? And that is which I think I've shared that in another video. If not, I will. If I haven't, I'll look back and see. If I haven't shared that, we'll go into that a little bit before the first of the year, so that if you want a chance to work with your card of the year, you can. But in order to determine what your card is, you're looking at the major arcana only, because you're looking at your what the year, the theme, sort of the theme, if you want to call it, of your year, or some important force in your year. We use the major arcana because remember, the major arcana in the tarot deck are the cards that refer to the karmic life lessons that we learn in our lifetime, and we learn them. We keep building on those lessons as we go through the major arcana, and of course, as we repeat the cycle, as the major arcana cycle repeats itself at different stages of our life, we build on those same life lessons. Okay, so mine was the Tower. I knew it was going to be the end of some kind of something was going to come crashing down. And I've talked to you about that before. That's not what this video is about. But that was the major arcana. But what I want to talk to you about today is those little, we're going to call them little things, but it is the minor things, the minor disturbances, the minor adjustments, the minor whatever, they come into our play, the day-to-day stuff, which is represented very well in the minor arcana of the tarot card through the four suits. Okay, through the four suits. And these are things that have to do with maybe your money, your family, your money, your job situation, maybe your health, maybe your emotional, how you react, maybe your emotional reactions to things, or new projects or passions or whatever, boredom, wanting to get out and go somewhere differently, those kind of feelings that affect our life in a big way. Yes, they're not minor. They affect our life in a big way, but there are things that we usually have some kind of control over. Now, I didn't have any control over my Tower. I did not have any control over that major life lesson that I had to learn this year. I didn't have any control really when it came to my husband's health or any of the other issues that I've been dealing with this year that didn't really have anything to do with his health, but there were other issues that were very much related to the Tower as well. I didn't have a lot of control. I could control how I reacted. I can control what I did as a result, but I couldn't really control them as it was happening. I wasn't sure. The things that came up in the minor arcana, if usually have some kind of control over it. You can usually do some kind of change. And at the very least, if it's not something that you control, you can get it in perspective and see it as it is. It's a passing of time. It's a spot in time, a moment in time that is going to change quickly. The major arcana, the life lessons, they don't change quickly. That's why we have it for we talk about it for a year, but it's not so specific always as a year, but that's just something that we give the parameters so we can understand it. It is just a stage of life, but it's representing a bigger stage. The minor arcana, these are smaller things that happen to us every day, come into our mind, come into our life in whatever way, but they are passing. They affect us. They affect us. Sometimes they're caused from things that happened in the past, and they will affect us perhaps today, but also a little bit into the future, but they are usually not something that happens that affects everyday life forever. It's not like that. Okay. But those things can really knock you off your feet. Maybe it can't knock you off your feet quite like a health scare like I had with my husband, like the major arcana, like those cards, like a Tower card can really affect you in a big way. The minor arcana cards can affect you though. If you have a bad day, or if you're feeling like in a slump, or you're feeling depressed, or you're feeling like anxious or worried, or those things affect you in a big way, and they can really make you feel out of balance. So we're going to do a little activity with the Deviant Moon, and for that I have removed. Let's see, get it out of here. I have gone ahead. I haven't done. I think I've removed, which gives me the it gives me the creeps. I've got to remove. I think I've removed, hopefully, all of the major arcana and the court cards, because I'm not interested in people or characteristics of people or whatever. I'm interested in stuff, happenings that I will find in cards 1 through 10 in the four series. And that's what we're going to do our activities today. I've got two little activities. that I'm going to share with you. So let me change my camera and then I will show you what I'm talking about. Hopefully I have removed properly all of my major arcana cards and my core cards. And I'm left just, as I said, with the 4 suits, 1, 2, 10, no cords, no cords. And some of them returned, of course. I hope you appreciate this because I get really twitchy. I get really twitchy about this. But I just want to give these a little shuffle. Now I'm using the Deviant Moon, and you do not need to use the Deviant Moon. You don't need to use a shadowy deck. I like it at this time of the year. It's really lovely. It's not that I can't use it all year, but I really find it most appropriate for now, this time of the year. And I love to use the deck because, oh, it's so easy to shuffle. It's so nice size, and cardstock's beautiful. And of course, I'm only shuffling 40 cards right now, but even the full deck is really easy to shuffle. So I wasn't too worried about taking the cards out because I think I can get them shuffled back in pretty random, my pretty random deck when I want to read the whole deck. But you can use any card deck, any deck. You could even use, I imagine you could use an Oracle deck. I don't know why not, but for this first one. And all this is thinking about when you're shuffling your cards, remember always putting your attention in your cards. Give the deck a chance to work for you, okay? And then we want to say just simply, what area of my life may be in need of balance right now? What may be in need of balance? And here I see the Ace of Wands. Okay, now this is what I really particularly love about this deck because I have these come up. I have this coming up all the time in my classes when I teach the classes. When we're talking about paying attention to what question we're asking the cards, we ask the cards to answer certain questions. And here we have asked the cards, what could be in shadow? What might be something that's maybe throwing me out of balance a little bit? And we see basically a positive card, right? This is a card all about some new rebirth, a birth of a new idea or a new project or creativity or some kind of growth. Good things are going to happen. So that's very positive. So how could that be putting us out of balance? How can that be putting us out of balance? Well, first of all, we can see here, this is when we use our intuition, okay? This is when we're going to give it some thought. So we're going to take a card and we're going to leave it up for a day, maybe 2 days. I wouldn't leave it up too long because remember, the energies of these cards change very quickly from day to day because these are all small, major arcana energies. But here we can see that she's very, very focused on her new project or her new creativity, her new passion, her new whatever. And she's kind of turned into that. And even though she has a lot of stuff going on up here, a lot of other lights, I don't know if you can see them, and her torch is very bright up on top, she's really not paying much attention to that. She's focusing in on one thing, Okay, so maybe there was something else that she needed to take care of, that she is putting a delay on that in some ways, or not attending to something else that may need attention. This is where you put your intuition into the card, you put your ideas into the card, reflecting on your life, what your life has been like, and how this could apply in a way to maybe take you out of balance a little bit, okay? Remembering that this, of course, is Wands, so it is about passion. Remember, keep in mind what it is about passion. Okay, so maybe you don't get that card, maybe you get another. So I'm going to try this with a couple of different cards. But I would say when you do this, you do one card at a time. Maybe in another day or two, do another card. This is a good thing for a daily draw. Just to give some thought. Here we have, what's giving me out of balance here? Well, we can see this is pretty easy, right? The Three of Swords. Oh my goodness. The Three of Swords. Everybody kind of knows the Three of Swords. We can see very clearly from that card, and I think just about every deck is very clear with the Three of Swords. But there's some kind of a heartbreak. There's some kind of a heart. She's crying. She's pierced through the heart, and it looks like it comes from the back. So it could be something from somebody who was very close to her, something that she was that she felt secure enough to have her back to, let's just say, has pierced her from behind. Sometimes you see decks representing this, that it's obvious that they're self-imposed piercing from the front. Sometimes they're piercing from the top. Again, that might be very telling in your read. So for this kind of an exercise, so be sure you use illustrated minors, a deck with illustrated minors, so you really can get an idea of what is being triggered for you in this reading. Okay, so this is obviously some kind of a disappointment. This one's pretty easy to say, but why would this take you out of shadow, like, or take you into shadow? Why would this take you out, knock you out of balance? Well, if you're feeling out of balance, it's maybe because you're not getting over this. Okay, remember, this is here for the reason she's already been pierced through. Even though we don't have like a reading with past, present, future, it's pretty obvious that she's already been pierced. She's been run through. It's already happened. It's not coming. They're not coming at her. She's not being threatened. She has been hurt. She's been hurt, no doubt about that, right? So why would this be something that would knock you out of balance? Yes, that could knock you out of balance itself, but we want to read this with a little deeper insight, and we want to say, the reason I'm feeling out of balance is because I have had this happen to me, and I've not recovered from it. I've not recovered from it yet. It still lingers. It still lingers for me for some reason. So in order to get myself back in balance, I need to find a way to cope with this. I need to find a way to move beyond this, to leave this in the past. It is a minor arcana card. We need to move away from it. It cannot affect us. This is not something that's going to affect our entire year. Okay? This is going to affect us right now. Okay, for this exercise at least, I want you to think in those terms. Let's try one more. I'm going to try one more, then I'm going to move on to something else. Here we have the 10 of Cups. I mean, the 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups, well, that's usually for most people a very simple card. It's very often called the wish card, isn't it? And we can see that the genie has come out of the little lamp that he's given it a little shine, just like in the story, right? Aladdin, he shined the lamp, and the genie appeared, and he was granted his wish. Well, that's again, isn't that something that is very good? You got your wish. You got your wish. So how could that knock us out of balance? Well, it could knock us out of balance in a couple ways. First of all, be careful what you wish for comes to my mind. Did you really mean to wish for something that did you really want that? Because now you got it. We have an expression in our house all the time that we say, words are spells. Words are spells. Be careful what you say, because that's your intention. When you say something, you don't want that to come true. But words are spells comes from, you first have to have the thought to have the intention. So be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you might want. But also, it also can be, think about it on another term. Are you just trying to deal with things by wishing for them? Are you actually trying to go out and pursue things that mean a lot to you, cups that mean a lot to you, things to desire? Or are you just going to sit back and hope it comes? I did a reading not too long ago with some woman who was asking me, why somebody won't call her, why a boyfriend who she thought was a boyfriend won't call her anymore. And she didn't know what to do. She wanted me to tell her why the boyfriend wasn't calling her. Well, I said, I can't tell you why the boyfriend doesn't call you, but I can say who would know why the boyfriend didn't call you? The boyfriend knows. The boyfriend knows. So if you really want to know why he didn't call, I would suggest you call him and ask him. And that's the only way you're going to know. You can't just sit there and wait for something to happen. We see this all the time in people. How people, oh my goodness, I really, really, really want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. But they're eating cake while they're saying, I want to lose weight. I know that better than anybody, right? How that works. So you see how you can take a positive card, but let's, for this exercise, just look at it. How could that be a knocking us off balance? That's a very simple one card. Okay, I think that's easily done, right? Okay. Now, before we go, I want to show you another one that's a little more, maybe a little better, to give you a little bit idea about balance. And this is a little more related to the 8 card spread that I created for the video I did 2 years ago, where it had 2 cards representing each element. And here I'm only going to look at 1 card representing the element. And why elements? Well, we all know that the elements are something that is going to have a lot of effect on helping you get back in balance. We talked about, I think I just mentioned a couple videos ago, perhaps, how, it's almost impossible to feel out of balance when you go to the beach. And one of the reasons is because we have all the balance of all the elements happening at the same time. Usually we have the ground, the earth, we have the water, we have the fire of the sun, and we have the air, the breezes at the beach. So it's very relaxing. The movement of the waves, the sounds that we hear. It's a very relaxing atmosphere. It's really hard to feel out of balance. So a lot of people go there to achieve it again, achieve it once more. Okay, so we're going to talk about the elements, but in this case, we're already going to put 4 cards, 1 for each. And there's no particular order, but I'm going to put them directionally. And I have earth in the north, and I have air in the east, fire in the south, water in the west. Okay, that's just the way I do it, directionally. I know that people do them different ways, it does not matter, but I like to put them this way so I can see how they might relate to each other. So this is earth, this is air, this is fire, and this is water. Ooh, and I've got water in the water. Water and water. Okay, so we want to just look at this. I need to move some things out of the way. I hope you can see the cards okay. They're kind of big for my little space, but I think you see that, right? Okay. First of all, we can look and see where we might be out of. The reason this is such a good exercise is this is something you can leave up definitely for maybe 2 days or so. But, and again, using any kind of deck. Excuse me. But keep in mind, the important thing to keep in mind with this exercise is we are dealing with earth. Here in this position, it is the element of earth. And earth for us, we are very much involved in the 3 of Wands. The 3 of Wands, which is kind of funny because the 3 of Wands is something that we think we're going to be naming our bus, 3 of Wands. And we had a big inspection on our bus today, so that kind of funny that card came up for me. But anyway, the 3 of Wands is very much attached to your passion, to your creativity, to focusing on, your work, ready to go somewhere, ready to you've sort of surveyed the land, and you're ready now to go on. You want to go out and to explore maybe something new. He's here. He's waiting for he's attached, which I find is such a cute little card. He's still attached. I guess they're still attached. The wands are still attached to her, and the moon energy is causing them to grow, I guess. And she's awaiting the time for it to happen where they can be free, where she can free this up. Okay, so it's reflecting all these passions that she's had. She's awaiting the time that she can realize those passions, that they will come to fruition. So I find that really interesting. And we're talking about earth. And she's involved passionately. Her desire is in this manifesting whatever this earthly gain that she wishes to have. Okay. She's not working on her intuition. She's working on something material in her life, something she wants to do or go or be or create or start or whatever. But it's going to mean something to her in the physical world. Okay. We have here the earth. In the air. We have the 8 of Wands, and the 8 of Wands, which I see 2 wands in a row, which is kind of interesting. And I see the 8 of Wands. She's working very hard, right? She's working very hard. But again, this is in the air. Does she think she's working hard? Is she really, or is she just so focused here that she's not, she's so focused on what she's doing here. Look at this. The little bird is bringing her a message. She's got some news. The crow has some news for her. Hey, I've got news for you, lady, he says. But she's really not looking up at that bird, is she? She's not paying much attention to other things. She's still focused very much. Her thoughts are here. Our thoughts are here, which is kind of interesting. She could be stuck there. She could be stuck there. She's just working, trying to clear, trying to make this happen, whatever she wants to do with these. Okay. And interesting again, look down in the south. In the south, for fire, we have the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands, that passion that we see, which is stability. It's stability. So there's this is like a team effort. This is a team effort. So look right here. I am so involved. Look at these three cards. 1, 2, 3. And we see these all involving these passions that we have, this thought. And if we're going to make this in my life, if it's going to be about the bus, this is pretty spot on right now. We're pretty much letting everything else go because we're trying, now that my husband is recovering his health, we're trying to get back into things on the bus. And this could be very much what this is about. We see this. But look, so right now I can sort of see it out of balance. But then I have here in the west, in the water, I've got water. I've got the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups in the water. And the Seven of Cups could be, it's all about imagination. It's all about, him seeing, which is interesting. I don't know if you can see this. I hope you can. But what I love about this, he's looking down here at the cups, right? And he's trying to draw, but instead of drawing, he's looking down here. Rather than drawing what he sees, he's just drawing what he has in his imagination. He's not really drawing what he sees. Okay. He's daydreams. He's having fantasy. He's all caught up in the fantasy of something. Okay. So if we're going to apply this in my life, if I want to apply this to me, are we so wrapped up in this that it's putting us out of balance, that we're really not, it's like a pretend world, of getting into our bus, making our bus the way we want it, hitting the road, going on down the road, and having some adventures. We're so caught up in this, are we not paying attention to other things we need to be paying attention to, right? Is this going to affect, is this, a way of bonding? I don't know what this has to do with us. If we want to look at the shadow, this could be affecting our relationship. How's this going to affect our relationship? I'm not sure. But I'm really fond of this card, that he's really caught up in his imaginary, what he imagines is going to be, rather than maybe what it is. So as you can see, these are just these 4 cards that really gave me a lot of information without really giving me specific information. It gave me some ideas, didn't it? Okay. So that's just a quick little exercise. If you wanted something that gives you a little more exercise than that, I suggest that you go to the link below for the video I had the other 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago, on getting into balance at Mabon. Let me change my camera. You see, you don't need to spend a lot of time. The idea of today's video was to show you that you don't need to spend a lot of time to give some thought about putting balance into your life. It's something that I think we all do from time to time, and we all do it. But most of the time we do it when it's nearly too late. What do I mean by that? We all know scenarios where somebody spends every waking time involved in their work. This is a stereotype for a lot of people who are like very career oriented. They spend so much, they spend long days in order to get ahead of their job. They spend long days working, early in the morning, don't leave, they're the last one to leave, They work weekends, they work on holidays, they work, that person who's always doing, trying to get ahead. And very often we see that same situation where they get to a point in their life where they start to lose friends, they start to maybe lose relationships, they start to lose interest in hobbies that they used to have. They can feel very easily that they are out of balance. Something's really out of whack. And it's only because something drastic has occurred that made them realize it. We know people that get very out of balance and they abuse their health. They don't eat properly. They don't exercise. They don't, go to the doctors. They don't have tests. They don't have, they have unhealthy life choices such as, overindulging on food or overindulging in alcohol or drugs or whatever, stress and, all of those things. We can see what happens when their health goes sour, when things go sour with their health, right? It's almost sometimes too late to reverse some of those events. So, getting into balance, finding some time in the year in your regular life where you just pause, and give some thought to the little things in life, to the small things in life that could be eating away at you and you not even realizing it, or eating away at your relationships and not even realizing it. Okay? Eating away with your self esteem without even realizing it. To pause and reflect, and the equinoxes are perfect time to do that. It's in the plan of the equinox, balanced light with the dark. It's part of the plan. So it's very natural that we do it at this time. So take advantage. It's not too late to do it. Yes, the equinox is past, but we're still in this presence. We're still in the time where we're pretty much, we're getting darker every day, but you can still do it. You can still do it. And we do these kind of exercises clear through up until you'll basically, I would say, continue on if you need to try to just get yourself, this is a good time to look inside you, look into your shadow, do some shadow work too. Okay, with these kind of exercises. You don't have to be a tarot reader. I know a lot of you are tarot collectors and you have some beautiful, beautiful decks with some beautiful, beautiful illustrated pips, illustrated minors. Okay, so get those minors out and separate them out on your deck, put them in front of you, and give them some thought. Give them some thought. Use some intuition, and then move on. Okay. I wish you luck. I wish you have a good time. I wish you enjoy it. Let me know what you think about it. And it's not a new idea, but I know a lot of you have never done it before, so give it a go. Give it a go. I'm telling you. Thank you so much for watching. And Rebecca, as always, I wish you blessings.